Zenless Zone Zero Patch 1.2 has released. What's up, everyone? This is Spooky, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the amazing things that have been added in this patch, as well as some of the great tools and things that you may have missed. First off, this one was pretty obvious to all of you, but Chapter 4 has been added to the story. This is talking all about the desert area of the Outer Ring, just outside the city of Eridu. It's also got a whole story involving the new Sons of Caledon characters, Caesar King, and of course Bernice. Caesar is currently available for you to pull for on the banner as well. There's a limited edition banner if you would like to go for it. She's a unique defense unit that also has a very high stun capability, as well as being able to shield whoever is the character currently on screen. At max core skill F, her shield will also add 1000 attack to whoever's currently on screen and actively attacking the opponent. Really useful core skill, and I definitely recommend going for Caesar if you have the resources and you find her the least bit interesting, as she is by far the best support currently in game. Another amazing feature that has been added is the ability to control the agent that you have on field. Currently in patch 1.2, you can only choose Caesar or Bernice when she becomes available on her banner. But in a future patch around 1.4, the developers have said that they'll be adding the ability to choose any of your agents and run around with them on field. One thing that's phenomenal about this, outside of course of being able to use your cool characters whenever you want while you're walking around, is the fact that most of these combat characters run much faster than Bell did. In fact, here's a speed comparison between the two of them. You can see that Caesar beats Bell quite handily in this little run through of the main street on 6th Street. This one is another phenomenal change. Now, instead of having to go into the hollow or into missions to pass time outside of your single break, you can directly pass time to whatever time frame you like. So not only can you pass time until later on in the day, but you can even pass time until the next day or the middle of the next day. This will make doing quests far, far simpler, and trust me, you guys will greatly enjoy this feature. Those of you looking to upgrade your equipment and your skills will find better equipment recommendations now in the system. Not only will it recommend the general equipment and sets, it also will be much more informative as far as base stats that you'll need and other important information to help you decide on the best discs and the best W engine for your characters. These better recommendations also go for skills, which is phenomenal. So now if you're unsure about which skills to invest in early, especially when you're starting to get to that skill 9, skill 10, skill 11, these are very expensive to skill up. So it's good to have recommendations on which skills to prioritize so that you can really make sure that all your hard-earned chips go towards the right skills to make your team the most effective. And if that's not good enough, you can now also see all the stat bonuses for your agents directly on the disc and W engine equipment screen. This is a great way for you to get an idea of just how much you're putting into each particular build, as well as which parts of your build in particular you may want to improve on. For example, my Juyuan could use about 8% more crit rate to get her in that perfect 40% range. Now, this change is huge for those of you that have been struggling with all the smaller missions, as well as getting every possible resource from those smaller missions. They've added a very auto explore mode to certain hollow missions. Mostly these are explore and story missions, but if you've gone through these missions and you've left behind small boxes or small resources, those resources can be denny, they can be experience for your characters, and they be other resources that are really important to you. Well, now with this very auto explore, while you're doing all the other things like your shield defense, your main missions, and everything else, you can have Ferry explore through the dungeons and get you back all those small resources that you missed out on. Very useful, very awesome, and it goes with something else that we'll talk about, which is their general reduction on how much they're using TV mode in the story and in gameplay. This change is also extremely useful and a bit crazy. I'm very glad they added this. There is a new backup battery charge system. So when you reach 240 battery, extra battery beyond that will be saved to this backup battery. It can store a maximum of 2,400 battery, I believe. So you can save a significant amount this way if you have to be away from your account for a while. However, the regeneration rate for the backup battery is a bit slower than the regeneration rate for your main battery. So keep that in mind. You still want to spend your main battery ASAP every day, But if you have to be away for a while and you don't have time to do that, you can still do your dailies very quickly, and you can let this extra battery charge be saved as backup battery so that you can utilize it later. Those of you that have been farming the Hollow Zero weekly will be excited about this new Hollow Zero Blitz mode. This is a mode that mostly involves combat, and there's almost no going into the TV world or the Hollow world during this. It's really just about getting that XP, getting those Hollow points, you can get Hollow levels, and getting in and out of there very quickly. It's a very fun combat mode for when you want to test out your characters and show what they can really do, and it's a great addition, so check it out. This next change is going to really help you max out the core skills for all of your agents whenever you're ready to and you get them to level 60. The Notorious Hunt is now allowing you to do combats after your 3 hunt weekly limit. You do have to spend 60 stamina per hunt after the weekly limit, but still, if you've got characters that you're waiting to finish off and you only need a bit of resources, this is a way that you can spend stamina to get them their skill F, their core skill E, or their core skill F much faster, which are in general the best core skills for your characters. You can also buy Notorious Hunt pieces in the Outpost shop. I can't believe that this one is real. You can use the same resource that you get already in the Hollow Zero, which is the Z merits. You only get a certain amount of Z merits each week, but still, this is a phenomenal way to basically, for free, while you're already doing Hollow Zero, make sure that you get some of these reserved relic items so that you can get those Notorious Hunt pieces for your characters. Alright, this last one is more an off the cuff thing that I want to talk to you about, but it is that they have reduced the TV mode in the Hollow heavily during story as well as challenge battle segments. So before, if you recall, especially the first 3 chapters of the story as well as the side stories, there was a lot of TV mode exposition. The TV mode was used extremely heavily to give you more of the story, teach you about why Bell and Wise do what they do, and teach you all about the Hollow investigators and their long-term goals, the goal of the cops and Neps and everyone else. But because it seems that people thought that this mode either took too long or there was just something about this mode that wasn't engaging, as when you were in actual combat there are a lot of loading screens in between what you're doing, that sort of thing. So this mode has received a lot of vocal negative feedback. Some people dislike this mode. Anyway, the devs have heard this feedback and they're reducing how much TV mode is used in the game, as was considering changing around how the TV mode works in general. I'm kind of torn about this one. There are some TV mode missions that I felt took particularly long. One that comes in mind is the Hero's Quest style mission, which is like a really long dragon quest. You got to spend an hour and change getting levels and doing all this stuff, and then maybe you failed the first time because you didn't understand all the aspects of the mission. Well, guess what? You got to spend a whole another hour to an hour and a half doing this mission again. This was probably the most egregious of the missions, was this particular one. But having said that, I kind of was looking forward to, after a while, all those little Hollow missions, because eventually you do run out of them, and then there's less story and exposition, and there's less of that kind of character back and forth banter too. The only other way to really present that is visual novel style. So, we've I feel like something has been lost there a little bit, and I hope that they'll reconsider or they'll rebalance the TV mode, hopefully in a way that will make someone like me happy that enjoyed all the story, as well as some people that might have thought that the TV mode dragged on a little bit. I am curious your thoughts, number one, about this TV mode, but also your thoughts about the changes in 1.2 in general. So let me know if this video helped you out, everybody. Hopefully, if you didn't know about some of these changes in 1.2, this video will help you to try them out. Have a good time. Good luck on those Caesar pulls, and look forward to more videos soon on the Team Spooky Zenless Zone Zero channel. Have a beautiful day, everyone.